Alright, so I got this Mr. Heater here, and I'm going to hang this up in the woodworking shop. Show you what we got going on here. We got some shackles here that we put on with some 4 equal lengths of some dog chain, I guess is what you might call it, and another shackle. And then I climbed way up there and I put a J-hook, and this is a deer hoisting winch that we got on here, and I'm going to use this to lift up the heater into place, and then we're going to mount it. So I'm going to run, I've got a loft over here, and then the edge of the barn shed over here, and I've got a couple 2x4s right there. We're going to set those across. This is an 8-foot span, a little less than 8 foot, so my 8-foot long 2x4 should fit across there. And then this, we'll put some lag bolts through this into those 2x4s, which is going to be what's going to hold it in place. And then we'll run our vent from here out over there through the side of the barn shed. Alright, since I want my vent pointing out towards that wall, that means these boards are going to be across this way. So I need to make sure that I'm going to catch these holes here. So it looks like I'm roughly 20 inches from the middle to the middle. So that means I want to put my boards there 20 inches apart. And the other thing I want to make sure I do is I want to make sure I get my boards mounted like this, not like this. If I mount them like this, they're going to sag in the middle. So I'm going to put them this way. That way they don't sag. Alright, so now I'm ready to wheel this heater over here and hoist it up. I'm going to mark these boards here to where they're 4 foot out, because that's where I want the back of the heater to be, is about 4 foot out. Alright, I got just enough string. There's the end of my string up there. I'm going to have to go get it, but we'll pull it down and I should lift it up. Alright, so we got that lifted, and then I just brought it over here and I tied it onto my table saw so that way I can work with it. And since the table saw is actually somewhat portable, got little wheels on it, if I need to loosen that, I can scoot that table forward just a little bit. But I think I'm going to be alright. I just need to maneuver that to where I can get some lag bolts through there about at that mark. Alright, so we got this first one in. You can see it's loose. I left some gap there so that way I can maneuver the other side okay. But that went in fairly easy. Now I use this couple extensions on the drill driver here so that I could clear this electrical box, because we needed, you can see the slot is pretty much right underneath, right over the top of that electrical box. Why they put it there, I don't know. You think they could have put the box at the bottom and put these little connector things for the thermostat up on top, That way he had clear access to this hole. But apparently those engineers are smarter than I am. Alright, again I left that one just a little loose until we get the front one started, and then we'll come back and tighten all 4 of those up. Alright, so all the screws are tightened down. I just got to release this rope here, and then we'll take that pulley down, and I think I'm going to maybe take a chain, if I wanted to just make sure I got some safety there, take a chain and hook to that loop there, that J-hook up there on top, and that way I've got something else holding that in place besides the lag bolts on the board. That way, in case a giant termite comes along and eats that board, my heater doesn't fall. That's way overkill though. Moment of truth. Hey, look at that. Alright, I got a slight problem with the placement of my pipe. Obviously I've got all those boards there that are lined up with it that I can't put an upward slant to it, but I can come straight across, which, you know, should be fine. The manufacturer wants it to go upwards a little bit, but that's actually for commercial installations. It doesn't require that for residential installations. So we're just going to come straight across. I've got a that inside mark is the size of the hole that I need, and then I need a 1-inch clearance from combustibles, which would be the wall material. So I traced around basically a 1-inch circle around that. So that's what we'll cut, and then we'll feed the pipe through there and put our collars on and stuff like that, and we should be vented. Alright, so since I know I got that 2x4 that this is going to need to butt up against, and I've only got 1-inch clearance, I'm going to try to cut this across. And this is a 1x, which is a little bit, actually a little bit thinner than a 1x, or a 1-inch, but I'm going to use that kind of as my gauge to mark where I need to cut this at. So I think if I cut that across there, I should be pretty close to being able to butt up against that 2x4. Or at least be in the ballpark. It's going to be really sharp. Alright, we'll see how that fits up against there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, so we got our vent pipe all ready to go. We got our flat side cut there, and we got any holes that we're going to screw through pre-drilled. I drilled some holes here in this flange piece so that I can attach it to the siding, and the other one that's on the other side. And so I need to put that end up here on my vent pipe. I've used some marker there to mark where those holes are so that I can line them up with the three holes I've got marked over here, and I marked those again with Sharpie to make sure I know where those are, and we're going to feed the pipe through that hole, line it up on this exhaust pipe here, screw them together, and then we'll come back here and screw the flat plates on here and the other side. Alright, so you can see we got our plate attached here. We put another little bitty extension on that, and then we got our external metal dryer vent, basically is what that is, on the outside here to vent all that combustion air out. And we got our gas regulator there, and then on the inside we got a shutoff valve, and then our copper line comes up and goes over there and connects up. And I know it's a little dark, but we got our wires here for our thermostat hooked up, and they just run across over here down to the thermostat, and we got that mounted there by the door. So it is up and running and works good.